So it'll be interesting to see what he does when he gets the ball, but it's going to be Kyron Drones that we see first.
And because Virginia won the coin toss, they deferred. Matt Ganyard will put toe to leather, and the battle for the Commonwealth Cup is underway. Touchback on the kickoff, so to your point, the first quarterback we see in action today will be Kyron Drones, the multi-dual threat quarterback for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Kyron Drones, he's a big guy. You see his numbers, you see his stats, but he really throws a really nice deep ball. And it's been Daquan Felton, number 9, who's been that deep threat target. You're going to see number 83, Jalen Lane, get involved as well in this passing game. And then number 33, Bashal Tootin, they're all-everything running back.
Drones is going to keep it. Design quarterback run. Bangs off the first tackler and picks up about 6. Jonas Sanker coming up from the safety spot to make the tackle. And Sanker is a tackling machine for the Wahoos, but Virginia Tech gains 6.
Yeah, John Brzezinski, the defensive coordinator for Virginia, said, look, we don't know how many times number 1 is going to carry the football. It might be 15. It might be 35.
Tackle, but it'll move the sticks. No, it won't. They'll mark him down just a little bit shy. I thought he got beyond the yard to gain, so it's a 3rd down and a little bit, less than a yard.
6'2", 235-pound quarterback. Look for this to be a QB power.
It'll be 3rd and 6. It appears the Hokies have moved, and they have.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Harry Patterson, our referee today, makes the call. Virginia Tech will move back 5 yards.
That's a killer. It's such a killer. I mean, these pre-snap penalties, you want to know why teams aren't very good on 3rd down, right? It's because there's pre-snap penalties, and a 3rd and 1 turns into a 3rd and 6, or a 2nd and 10 turns into a 2nd and 15. Now they have their work cut out for them.
This crowd's still making their way in from the grounds here at the University of Virginia, but they're getting loud. Drones will throw. As a receiver, 1st down at about the 40-yard line. It's his tight end, Daquan Wright, and they'll move the sticks on that play.
Yeah, and they started getting Daquan Wright going. You're going to see him right in the middle of the field, just a little setup. And that's going to be in this zone coverage that Virginia loves to play. Those short, intermediate routes are really going to provide opportunities for guys like Daquan Wright to be productive in this game. Virginia Tech looks a little bit confused formationally.
I was going to say, is that a lot of pre-snap movement, eye candy, or is it confusion? Drones will roll the pocket. Has a receiver open. That's right again. Toward midfield, still on his feet, and into Virginia territory.
Well, the ball came out at the end. I think he was down. Yeah, he was. They're ruling him down by contact.
Dave Herard came out of there with it. You see him pointing towards Virginia's way, but he'll stay with the Hokies.
Yeah, a couple nice plays for Daquan Wright in this game. Now they're moving the pocket, getting the quarterback rolling out. And yes, the elbow does hit the ground and the ball comes out.
Funny, you and I were having a conversation about that just before the game today, about whether the ground can cause a fumble, in what scenario can it. Stays with Virginia Tech. Fake to Tootin. Drones is going to go downfield. Has a receiver in Felton. He couldn't quite make the catch, as Sam Westfall was step for step the transfer from SMU, preventing the completion.
Yeah, they tried a little pump and grow on the outside, and really good job by Sam Westfall staying with his man, but there's also some good pressure on the inside. You see 94 Falmui, who we're going to call his name a lot. He is a very active interior lineman for Virginia. He got some pressure.
2nd down and 10. The pitch to Tootin. Has a blocker in front of him. Cuts it up and picks up a 5 or 6. He'll set up 3rd down and short. Sanker again on the tackle.
And both of these teams on offense, they do want to have big plays, but they are going to stick to the run game and the ground and pound for the majority of the game, especially 1st and 2nd down. 3rd down, they might open it up, but one calling card of Virginia Tech is how they move before the ball is snapped, trying to confuse the eyes of the defense.
On 3rd and 4. Drones keeps it, has a whole lot of green in front of him, cuts it back inside. He's tough to bring down, and he shows it on that run inside the red zone. Give him 23 here, Mark.
Yeah, give him 23. And watch right here. Watch what it does to the eyes of the linebackers. You see, he has the dive. Okay, I have the quarterback, or do I have the dive? And he gets fooled. And that allows for a lot of running room from Kyron Drones, and he takes advantage.
If you're a DB, you can't tackle him high, can you?
No, you cannot.
Reverse. That's Lane. Defended well by Virginia, but he's still on his feet as the flag comes flying in from behind the play. Lane was able to pick up some yardage at least. But let's check the marker. It's coming back.
Number 8, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Looks like the hold was on number 7 right here. You see James Jackson. Well, he goes down to the ground. They called it on
That's right, the tight
Daquan
end,
Wright,
yeah.
I believe. And
Right.
it looked more like a Olay move. Not as much of a hold, but
Got a pat on the helmet from his head coach, Coach Pry, when he gets to the sideline. Tough break. Drones to throw. Juden can't handle the pass.
Virginia Tech is a team that really has struggled to score points in the first quarter. Only 39 total points scored in the first quarter this year. And when they do score, though, they get hot. And, they don't stop scoring. So this is an important drive early in this game to set the momentum on their side.
Keeping it on the ground. Drones takes the hit.
Tackle.
Sanker comes up. You can see why he's just racking up the tackles this year. He's in on every play.
Yeah, super interesting guy. He played 8-man football in this Charlottesville area. And he went to the Covenant School, and he's one of 7. He has 6 siblings, and 2 of his brothers are football guys, too. He just has a nose for the football. He's been all over the place, and Virginia Tech needs to make some work right here.
Drones to throw. Almost was able to squeeze it in there. Tended for Dequan Felton. Herard and James Jackson coming back from his linebacker spot in coverage. That was a tight window, but it was almost fit in there by Drones.
Yeah, and it was an outside post route by Dequan Felton, and really a well-thrown football. That one should have been called.
So the Hokies will attempt to get on the board first here this afternoon with a field goal attempt, 41 yards from John Love. He's hit 11 straights coming into this game. Good snap, good hold. Thank heavens he made the kick. Otherwise, that broadcaster jinx come back to bite me. Hokies on T Network, and of course, also streaming on the ESPN app. Hokies take the opening kickoff down the field. They get 3. And Kyle Lowe will now kick off to Malik Washington, who lets it sail into the end zone. And our first opportunity to see this Virginia offense led by Anthony Calandria, the true freshman quarterback.
Yeah, and Anthony Calandria, kid out of St. Petersburg, Florida. He was in a kind of a private school, smaller school in high school, and said, hey, I want to go and play with the best. And so he transferred to Lakewood, down in the Miami area with some of the best high school football in all the country. And he walked into that locker room and he took command, and Tony Elliott said, look, if a guy can do that, he can come and play for me and lead my team. And here he is.
Fake to Mike Hollins. Moves the pocket looking for Washington. Downfield, he's got him open. Oh, a spectacular catch, but he was out of bounds.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, I mean, just like, and here he is. You see, he's going to work towards the outside and just run this wheel route, and you see him, he gets matched up on a safety and comes wide open. Landry just missed him.
This time they give to Hollins. Gets it outside, nowhere to go. Another TFL for this Virginia Tech defense. They've been racking them up all year.
Yeah, and Virginia has got to hit on those shots. When they have opportunities deep down the field to hit those. They need those big plays. They're not a team right now who's built for 14, 15 play drives, and missing on that big throw leaves them in 3rd and 13. They have struggled this year on 3rd down to convert.
And this is when Virginia Tech can pin their ears back. They bring just 3, but it's enough pressure to force Calandria out of the pocket as a receiver and can't quite hook up with Malachi Fields. Wouldn't have been enough for the first down anyway, as Antoine Power Island, APR as they call him in Saxburg, was putting pressure on Calandria.
Yeah, and they had an option. Watch number 26, Ethan Davies, down this middle of the field. He becomes really open right here, and that could have been hit if it wasn't for the pressure that was put on by Cole Nelson. Good job by Virginia Tech making Calandria move.
Daniel Sparks to punt it away for Virginia. And Tucker Holloway, wearing the number 25 for Virginia Tech, set to return it. Helicopter punt taken by Holloway at his own 26 with a fair catch.
Plays, right? He $1 million, but we posted in the fridge. I forgot I mic'd up. Damn. Let's go finish. Dude, look at the camera.
Well, in addition to the battle for the Commonwealth Cup, it was senior day here in Charlottesville, and Mike Hollins, a graduate student out of Baton Rouge, walked with his family before the game, and great to hear from him.
I love when these guys get mic'd up. It's so fun to, like you forget at times, but then you're also like telling everybody around you, hey, I'm mic'd up, don't say anything bad. I'm sure he didn't have to worry about that at all.
Virginia Tech now with their 2nd possession of the game. Picked up 3 yards, a little bit more on 1st down. Pass to Malachi Thomas, dropped for a loss. Dave Herard from that safety spot coming up to make another tackle.
Yeah.
Both these safeties, Herard and Sanker, have been really active.
Yeah, they have. You did just a really good job, right? You read the play, you shoot that gap between the 2 outside receivers, and you make a short tackle. 3rd down and long now. There's Falmouy right in the middle. He's their pass rush D lineman.
Pressure initially picked up. Now drone's flushed. Throws into traffic, and it's incomplete. Ball was bouncing around a little bit there. You see James Jackson. He had an opportunity to pick it off, and Tootin had an opportunity to catch it. Neither one of them did, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, I think James Jackson had the best opportunity of catching that football. And he almost had it too, just couldn't bring it in. What an effort by James Jackson on that play. He was hook dropping away from that play and just saw the quarterback move outside and flew to the football. Good stop for UVA.
Yeah, Wahoo defense holds strong, forcing the 3 and out. Peter Moore will punt it away, one of the better punters in the conference. And it takes a Virginia Tech bounce. Going to be touched dead at the 32-yard line. Anthony Calandri's had a very interesting year. You think about it, Tony Muskett, the transfer in from Monmouth, was the starter at the beginning of the year. He gets hurt in the opener. So Anthony Calandri, as a true freshman, hey son, even though they had a good battle in the fall, I don't think you ever expect to start until starting in the 2nd game.
Yeah, started in the 2nd game, and he plays 3 games, right? And shows a little bit of something, but also at times showing that he's a rookie still. And then Muskett gets hurt again, and he gets hurt at Georgia Tech in the first drive, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now you're back, and they burned his red shirt, and this is it. This is a year for him, and he's performed well. Especially last game, had kind of a great showing, and 3 touchdowns, 70% completions. We talked about the 278 yards, and did it on the ground, and he was named ACC Rookie of the Week for that performance.
2 straight run plays to start this drive for the Wahoos. Malik Washington picked up about 3, and then Kobe Pace maybe a couple. They're going to bring up third down. Virginia wants to go quickly, upping the tempo here a bit.
There's Washington. 96 catches on the year.
Calandria to throw. Quickly gets it to Washington, who makes the catch, but he's going to be shy of the first down. Keontae Jenkins was on him to make the stop as soon as he caught it. And it's going to be a little bit, just under 2 yards shy of the yard to gain. And it looks like Virginia's going to punt it away.
Yeah, and they usually have a lot of confidence from 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1 as they get in their kind of big package and bring Grady Brosterhouse in for the tush push, but this one they think is a little too far for that.
Sparks off the side of his foot. This one's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be decent field position for Virginia Tech to start this next drive. Just a 27-yard punt off the toe of Daniel Sparks. Hokies with a 3-0.
Especially in your second year as a head coach, you get 14 more practices for your bowl practices. It's basically like a whole spring ball worth of work that you get with your team. And it's interesting talking to coaches. Yes, it's good to win the bowls, right? It provides a good spark going into next year. It proves confidence, especially against other conferences, but it's really those practices that are what are so coveted about making the bowl trips.
It's like an extra spring, basically, in December as he gets set for next year. Lane with the carry on first down, and Drones, like a fullback, through the teeth of that Virginia defense, moves the sticks.
And look at him put his hand on the back of his lead blocker. It's like a running back, right? Just with their fullback going through. And it's just so hard to stop. There's an extra guy. You don't have enough dudes in the box, so Virginia's going to cheat with Jonas Sanker and try to get him more around the football.
Drones to throw downfield again. Trying to get to Felton, just overthrows him. Good coverage once again downfield. Trey Walker and Jonas Sanker combining to make it difficult on DeQuan Felton.
And that's twice they've tried to go to DeQuan, or 3 times really, they've tried to go to DeQuan Felton down the field. And just, has not been uncovered, right? He's been tight coverage the whole time by Virginia's defense and unable to come away with any big plays.
Second down and 10. Drone started the game 2 for 2. He's 1 for 6 since. Tootin carries the ball for Jalen Lane. Check it. Wideout. Both these teams will use their wideouts in the run game quite a bit.
Yeah,
You'll see Lane carrying it. You'll see Xavier Turner Bradshaw carrying it for Virginia Tech.
Yep. There's a very high sense for both offensive staffs of we have playmakers. Let's get our playmakers the football as many times as we possibly can, and they're going to look to try to find one here on 3rd down.
3rd and 4, Malachi Thomas in the backfield with Drones. They'll give it to Thomas, who loses his footing when he takes the handoff, and he'll be well short of the yard line to gain. So now decision time for Virginia Tech in Virginia territory, and it looks like they're going to keep Drones in the offense on the field.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of clicked his own feet together as he was trying to step over Kyron Drones, and here's 4th down.
4th down and just a little shy of 2 yards for the first. Drones is going to keep it and throw it. And he's got a man wide open inside the 20. That's Gosnell, and he scores.
Wow, what a play and a 4th down. How about the gutsy call from offensive coordinator Tyler Bowen? Here we go. We got the guy right here. He's just going to leak out late. That's Stephen Gosnell towards the bottom of your screen, and the safety, Jonas Sanker, bit up. And David Herard was also had his eyes in the backfield. Great job finding his open wide receiver. That's the big play touchdown score they wanted.
3rd touchdown reception on the year for Stephen Gosnell, the senior from Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. Love with the PAT. And the Hokies have broken out to a 10-0 lead here on the road.
And Virginia guessed at the run, and they guessed wrong. Great touchdown pass and great play design by Tyler Bowen. Kyron Drones, he's such a dangerous runner, as we've talked about, but he has an arm that he can develop. He's only a redshirt sophomore, transferred from Baylor, and the coaching staff, right, they have identified what he does really well, right? And I think that's been a difference like halfway through the season for Virginia Tech, where they started with Grant Wells at quarterback and transitioned over to Kyron Drones. They figured out how they can call the plays to be beneficial towards him, and I think as they develop him, as the seasons go on, he's going to really be accurate over the middle and not just the deep ball threat. He's a quarterback to watch out for going forward.
Malik Washington will watch this one sail into the end zone. Sherry Burris on the field. What do you got for us, Sherry?
Kyron Drones, guy, third most rushing yards in the ACC at that quarterback position. But as you're talking about it, improving also in his passing game. And that's what head coach Brent Pry told us. He's improving in his decision-making. He's throwing the ball better and better each week. We saw it. He's not putting the ball in jeopardy, throwing balls away when need to. He's just making good reads, is what Coach Pry told us about his improvement with the passing game.
He was an Elite 11 quarterback coming out of Pearland, Texas. So he was a high-level recruit. And as you mentioned, started his career at Baylor, played sparingly, but he's certainly found a spot in Blacksburg. Hokies now trying to, again, contain Calandria in this Virginia offense. Flag comes down as Calandria works his way to the sideline. Wahoo's still looking for their first down of the day.
Personal foul.
Yeah.
Legal blindside block. Number 85, offense.
And they got another penalty.
To the goal. Repeat
Blindside block, and although they did get that win versus Duke last week and played well, they also had like 117 yards of penalties in that game, and so they've had to overcome different, a lot of these longer yardage downs. And what made up for it last week was the big play passes, right? It's okay, we get this 10-yard penalty, but now we're getting a 20-yard strike. Those haven't been there so far in this game, and Virginia Tech hasn't allowed them, so they have to cut out these penalties.
They've moved way back now. It'll be 1st and 23 from their own 12. Calandria over the middle has Malachi Fields, who makes the catch. He picks up a big chunk of those yards back to the original line of scrimmage.
And Antoine Powell-Ryland, he gets in there. You see him down at the bottom of your screen. He's going to have some inside pressure, and really good job of just getting the ball out there to Malachi Fields on the deep basic route. And there you go. Picked up 11 yards on that 1st down and 20. Now we're right back in normal down and distance.
Calandria again to throw, trying to get to pace dangerously out of the backfield. I say dangerous because Mansour Delane read that beautifully, and if he could have stepped in front of it, he was gone.
Oh, Mansour Delane, he's been playing well lately. He had, career high tackles against NC State, and then 8 tackles last week. And just his break on the football has improved, right? He's been able to feel the game, just a true sophomore. He almost had one there.
See if Virginia Tech comes with pressure here. They bring just 4. So Calandria has time. Now he's going to try and get it on his own. And the Virginia Tech defense collapses around him. And he's going to be about 3 yards short.
And he runs tough, and a little bit small to be running that tough. But watch Malik Washington on this play, right? He does a little stop route. Initially is covered, but right here he's open. Right, that ball needs to be delivered from Calandria to the best player on the field in that scramble. And it's a young quarterback. Sometimes it's hard to keep your eyes downfield. That was an opportunity missed by Virginia.
Yet another punt, and another good one from Sparks. Fair catch made by Holloway. That is 21. That's where Virginia Tech will take over. Coming up tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, North Carolina at NC State. Now ranked 22nd in the country, the Wolfpack, one of the hotter teams in the league and in the country for that matter. We saw them last week against this Virginia Tech bunch. That team is putting it all together right now at the end of the year.
Yeah, they are. And Brennan Armstrong, who was at Virginia, now transferred to NC State, reunited with Robert Adnai, the offensive coordinator, and he is running the ball hard and throwing the ball well also.
Got a young phenom in Casey Concepcion, too, who lights up the field, both receiving and running the ball. James Jackson on the tackle. Pickup of about 5 on first down. Virginia Tech's doing a nice job running the ball and picking up good chunk yards on first down, setting up their offense.
Yeah, and when your defense is playing the way they are on third down and forcing the opponent to punt, with up 10 points, you're in control right now. And you can pick up 5 yards on first down. That just keeps establishing your control of the game every single time you can.
Faked it to it beautifully. That's Lane. Inside of Virginia territory, showing the speed. Inside the 10, he'll score.
Okay.
Flag down behind the play in the backfield. It may be coming back.
Oh, man.
And it is coming back.
Oh, it's devastating. Wow.
Repeat second down.
74 yards wiped off the board.
How about that speed? Man. Jalen Lane, once he caught that football, he was just out of here. He's got 3 guys in position, and he just outruns everybody. All that for naught. As a penalty brings him back. And it's on 68. Watch 68 right in the middle of the screen. He gets thrown to the ground, and because the defender goes down, I think that's why they called it.
I can't believe that's Caden Moore. The veterans on this offensive line for the Hokies.
Two-Face. He's still shaking his head.
Another whistle.
Oh, no. They started the whistles that we don't know what they're for.
This could be an equipment deal here. Maybe not. I don't know what they're blowing for. I want to make sure the clock is set right. Our referee right there, Gary Patterson. Line judge letting Coach Pry know what's going on. Now we're ready to go. He wants a fresh play clock. Still plenty of time now.
A lot of backup receivers on the field. I would expect run.
Drones is going to throw it. It's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to keep and get what he can and lowers his shoulder.
A little smack there at the end of the play.
Physical play.
Big guy on big guy. Tavon Kyle isn't physically that big, but he hits pretty big. The safety. Now 3rd and 8, and see if Virginia decides to bring pressure. They did bring pressure last time, but just didn't get home. Looks like they're playing coverage.
That's going to signify the end of the first quarter. Dominated by the Hokies. They're up 10-0, looking to convert a 3rd down when we come back to Charlottesville. Commonwealth Cup up for grabs this afternoon. Coach Pry and his Virginia Tech Hokies trying to become bowl eligible with a double W today in this rivalry game. You can see a 3rd and 8 for Virginia Tech and Kyron Drones. Malachi Thomas in the backfield with him. Virginia showing some pressure. It's picked up. Drones has a receiver. His tight end way downfield, and Wright makes the catch in Wahoo territory.
Man. They're getting Daquan Wright involved in this game early. And a really good job by him. You see him right here. It's just going to be a vertical route. And he's passed off. Jonas Sanker, number 20, has his eyes across the field on 83, Jalen Lane. Great job by Drones delivering that football to pick up a first down.
Drones quickly out to Malachi Thomas, who was split out wide to the top of your screen. Sanker again on the tackle, but more big chunk yardage plays on first down for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and really it's been 3 times so far, and they've hit on 2 of them, where they've tried those inside vertical routes. And I think they feel like they have a pretty good matchup with Daquan Wright or Jalen Lane running down that hash against these safeties.
Double reverse. Holloway has blockers in front of him, including Drones inside the 10. He's going to score.
How about that? Tucker Holloway, their return man, their return specialist, he's on the field for a reason. That reason is because he can run the ball like a returner on those reverses. Again, eye movement. You get the defense moving one way, you counter back the other way. And Kyron Drones out there with the big boys trying to lead the way. Tucker Holloway does it himself.
Love converts the PAT. Virginia Tech's dominance in this first half continues. Tucker Holloway wearing the 25 for Frank Beamer today because of what he does on special teams. This time does it on offense. All Hokies here in Charlottesville.
So far early in this one, but we are joined by UVA legend, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Rondé Barber. Congratulations, sir. See, I like your jacket there. You got the threads. You played here in Charlottesville. You think of your journey from here on this field to Canton. How do you reflect on that?
Right now, I'm looking at my mother who went to Virginia Tech, and I am not feeling very good about myself. But it's a long way from here, obviously, where I ended up. But I know that it all started here, and the most important parts of my journey were here, and I will never forget that. I am where I am because of University of Virginia.
So your mom here is a Hokie, so she might have one up on you later, but you were in these shoes of these players. What is it like playing in this rivalry game?
Right. So I want to say that we owned this rivalry before I got here, but then I lost to them 3 or 4 times. So it's always you never know what you're going to get. Obviously Virginia comes in a little less than what Virginia Tech is on paper, and it's an upset type of game, but it'll never change its meaning because Virginia Tech is probably one of the better rivalries in college football, and we got a second half. That's all I'm going to say.
This Virginia team has been in a lot of close games. How do you feel like just overall this season? How would you put it into perspective?
Flanders from Tampa or St. Pete is from down where I am. We all know about him. We know what kind of guy he is. He has that potential to bring this team back, and we're going to need it. And, this is a rivalry that supersedes records. You don't have to worry about what's happened prior to this. When you get to this game, it matters. And I talked to these guys yesterday, and I told them, if you do one thing for me, beat Virginia Tech, just so I have bragging rights over my mom. So I think they're taking that into the second half.
There you go. All right, well, I'll follow up with Coach at halftime. Well, Rondé, congratulations. We appreciate the time. Thank you. Chris?
Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate that, Rondé, taking the time to join us. Darius Payne just brought the pain there on second down, and it's 3rd and 8. Virginia's still looking for their first down in the afternoon. Delandria now will look to change the play. He went from 2nd down and 5 to 3rd and 8 in a hurry.
Watch this matchup right here. That's Malik Washington on the linebacker.
Delandria to throw, steps up into the pocket, intercepted. Delane taking it the other way, inside the 20. 32 yards on the pick and return from Mansour Delane. Hokies back in business again.
And Mansour Delane, we talked about it. You get streaky, you have a couple good games in a row, build your confidence. This time, physical on the route. Malachi Fields falls down. We've had a couple slips on this turf this afternoon, and Monsieur Delane is right in position to capitalize on that throw. Huge play for Virginia Tech.
Virginia still without even so much as a first down in this game, trailing 17-0. And Virginia Tech back in the red zone. Drones fakes the pitch. Now he's looking to throw. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds. Play didn't work from the beginning.
Got a little trickeration on that play. And
I'll tell you what, Tyler Bowen, the offensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, isn't afraid to mix it up.
no, not at all.
Have players running in all different directions, both pre-snap and after the snap.
And he calls it pre-snap chaos. He tries to create pre-snap chaos for the defense. And, I've been a linebacker, and, your checks are starting to go out the window when you have that much motion because you can just never get actually right with what you're going to do.
Pitch to Tootin. Tries to cut it back. Still on his feet, powering his way to a first down.
Yeah, and, Virginia had an opportunity to bring him down much earlier than where they did, but this is what Bashal Tootin does. He breaks tackles. He gets yards after contact, and he has such good balance and awareness with his body that, he makes plays like that all the time.
First and goal for the Hokies. Drones will keep it himself. Picks up a couple. Freshman Cam Robinson on the tackle.
Let's see what Virginia Tech has done in the red zone this year. They're about 50% in terms of touchdowns per attempt. 21 touchdowns on 42 tries this year. So not about 50%, exactly 50%.
Tootin smashes it up in there. Again, picks up a couple. Chico Bennett on the tackle. This is a big third and goal for Virginia.
This is huge. And you're down 17 points. You can come back from that, right? You get a stop. You get a touchdown. All of a sudden, it's a 10-point game. You feel like you're back in it. If they get in the end zone here and it gets to be a 24-point game, there's a long road to hike back for Virginia.
Empty backfield for Drones. He's going to keep it, and he gets pushed back. The Wahoos stand tall inside the 10. Ball may have come out, too. And it did. And Virginia makes the recovery. But we said it was a big third and goal, and it was a huge third and goal for the Wahoos as Sanker comes out of there with the ball.
Huge. And Cam Robinson, the true freshman, gets the first shot on him, and then David Hurd, number 4, looks like he gets that pushback, and the ball comes out. I mean, it's clear as day there that the ball comes out. Jonas Sanker finds it, comes up with it, his second fumble recovery of the year. And just like that, Virginia still has a chance.
Yeah, Virginia turned the ball over. Virginia Tech was looking for points off that turnover. Instead, they give it right back. Now Virginia's backed up in the shadow of their own goalpost, but they get the ball back, still down 17. Let's see what Calandria can do here. Gives it to Pace, who tries to sidestep the defense. Can't do it. He got out of the end zone, but he didn't get out of the clutches of Jaden McDonald. And you see Drones right now being checked by the training staff. Looks like they're looking at that right ankle. They got rolled up upon under that pile on the last play.
And he's frustrated with himself for that fumble, that turnover, obviously. Right here, that's the deepest player on Virginia Tech's defense. You got to be ready for a shot.
Calandria's going to roll. Pressure coming, he's got to get rid of it, and does. but he misfires looking for Malachi Fields. Jaden McDonald again on the pressure.
Yeah, and really physical coverage.
They have a flag down on the far side, away from the play. There you see Drones getting retaped on that right ankle.
They're saying no flag on the play. They thought there was an offensive lineman downfield.
Picked up the marker.
Was not.
One of the reasons why Virginia hasn't picked up a first down yet is that their average on third down is 8.5 yards to go. They've made life difficult on themselves.
Yeah, and in this situation, right here, there's their tight end. I wouldn't be surprised if they motion him back in the backfield to get a chip on someone to protect their quarterback.
Trying to get it to Fields and just overshoots his tall receiver. We got a flag in the end zone, though.
They're going to have a late hit, roughing the passer.
Number 52, defense.
So they'll pick up their first down via penalty. They'll take it any way they can get it at this point. Keep possession and get out from the shadow of their own goalpost. There it is right there. Antoine Powell-Ryland with a shot in the back.
And I don't know if the shot by Powell-Ryland was what made them throw the flag or the ricochet. Because after Powell-Ryland kind of got a little bit of a bump on him, right? And that probably wouldn't have done it, but...
Josh Fuga was in there.
Then you got it run over by the 300-pound Fuga.
It's not difficult to do. So Calandria has Washington and just overshoots him. And another flag in the backfield.
Oh, and the Virginia Tech
foul, roughing the passer.
D-linemen are
Number
fighting each
52,
other.
defense. 15-yard penalty.
Two consecutive
Automatic first
roughing
down.
the passer calls against Virginia Tech, giving life to this Wahoo offense.
Number 52, again, they called it on Powell-Ryland. And, it's just, you don't do it again. I mean, you don't need to touch the quarterback. And, Powell-Ryland, a little frustrated. It's been a few weeks since he's had a big sack day. That's two back-to-back huge penalties that saved Virginia when they're on their own one.
Calandria's got time downfield. Incomplete. Almost picked as Dorian Strong was in coverage, and he couldn't hang on to it.
Well, Rondé Barber talked about knowing Calandria and what he can do, right? But he's not throwing good deep balls right now. I mean, he's missed on 2 or 3 balls downfield. He's made poor decisions on where he's going to go with the football. And that one was thrown in the direction of Dorian Strong, who has 3 interceptions on the season.
That should have been his 4th.
Should have been. And, Sedarion Harrison does a good job of just knocking it away, but got to be concerned with ball security.
2nd down and 10. Calandria being chased. Nowhere to go. And he just steps out of bounds.
Yeah, and really it's just a miscommunication, right? This is a bootleg. But watch Ethan Davies. He just goes and blocks, and there's no one available for Calandria to throw it to. There's no one's running a route for him. So something happened with that play, and winds up in another 3rd down and long.
Cole Nelson putting the pressure on Calandria. It's somebody in white putting pressure on Calandria on every single snap. This time up the middle. Pollard gets him. Just rushing 4, Mark, and they're getting home.
Yeah, and this time Norrell Pollard, he does a really good job. He's right here. Watch that spin move. He does a really good job on Ty Furnish with the inside swim move, and they've been in the backfield a bunch, and after 2 roughing the passer penalties, they finally get the sack, and now they're going to get the ball back.
Sparks has been a busy man here in the first half. Spirals this one up to Holloway, lets it bounce, and it takes a Virginia Tech hop before being down right at the 45-yard line. Kyron Drones back on the field when we come back. Virginia Tech 2 wins in the last 23 years for this Virginia team over Virginia Tech. It has been lopsided in recent memory. Didn't start out that way. I mean, Virginia won the first 8 games of this series by a combined 175-5 score. But recently, in the last 20-plus years, it's been all Virginia Tech, and it has been all Virginia Tech here today. Tootin on the carry. Give him a couple of yards.
And what happened like 25 years ago, like Frank Beamer, right? Like, it's kind of around that time frame of what he did with this program. It just shocked him though, because Virginia football, they've not like been bad for the past 25 years. Just this rivalry has been dominated by the Hokies.
The Hokies have found a way to win. Tootin once again around the edge. Shy of the first down, but he's close. He's just about a yard shy. James Jackson tracking him down. Don't forget tonight, North Carolina in Raleigh against NC State. 3rd and 1. Virginia's defense makes the play, and it's Jonas Sanker in the backfield. Dropping Tootin for a loss. 4th down.
Yeah, Jonas Sanker from the safety spot. He just does a really good job. He's right here. He's going to come down and come off the edge, and he times it perfectly. And makes his way into the backfield and joins forces with the freshman Cam Robinson. Big play.
Virginia's going to send Cedarian Harrison back at his own 10-yard line, and even on special teams, Virginia Tech is motioning all around the place.
Like there's no punter.
Here he is.
There he is.
Peter Moore gets back to punt it.
Timeout, Virginia Tech.
Then they got to waste the
First
timeout.
charge timeout of the half.
After all that,
Media timeout.
Coach Pry wants to call a timeout to talk things over on 4th down. Go for it when we come back. Virginia, though, with the big hit. Sanker and Robinson dropping Tootin for a loss. Virginia Tech is heading, and they put the offense back on the field. 4th down and 2 after the timeout. Drones is going to roll the pocket. Tootin gives him a block. He throws. Caught. 1st down. Daquan Felton hit the catch. Coach Pry rolling the dice a bit. Decided to pull his punt team off, put the offense back out there, and it pays off. 14 yards, 1st down mark.
Yeah, great block by Bishal Tootin. And that allows the extra time for him to find Daquan Felton, who started on the other side of the field and worked his way across. And how about that? Brent Pry not holding any punches in this game.
Pitch to Tootin. Got blockers in front of him. Speed to Bird. Inside the 10. You darn Tootin, Mark. All Hokies here in Charlottesville.
He woke up feeling the cheesiest, Chris. How about that? Nice run on the toss. This Virginia Tech team, they are running well. They are blocking well. They are dominating this first half. Pure, unadulterated journey into the end zone for Bishal Tootin.
Love converts the PAT. After the decision to go for it on 4th down, it only took the Hokies 2 plays to get it into the end zone.
There's blocks on the outside by the wide receivers. Stephen Gosnell, number 12, got a big one. Boom, good block. And, just way too porous by this Virginia defense. And again, that all started because Brent Pry had the guts to go for it on 4th and 2. And Tyler Bowen called the right play. Tyron Drones delivered. Gave a shot for Bishal Tootin to have a long touchdown run.
Feeling cheesy. How about feeling chunky? Virginia Tech with the big plays today. Runs of 23, 32, 33 yards. Pass completions of 39, 44, and 74 yards. Killing them with the big plays.
Yep. And that other one called back with the holding call. Jalen Lane had the long 60-plus yard touchdown catch as well. And 24-0. 5 minutes left to go. This is a whooping.
Sherry, what's going on?
Well, guys, it was a plan for Bashal Tutin to get the ball and be a part of this run game. Last week, Coach Pry said he can't let that happen again in the loss to NC State.
Number 2 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the 25-yard line. That is number 2's first unsportsmanlike conduct.
We'll mark that off. Continue, Sherry.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, no, I mean, last time in the loss to NC State, Tutin only had 2 carries for -3 yards. Coach Price said that can't happen again. We see why. We need to find ways to get him the ball, and we saw him accelerate and get that crazy speed, and that's thanks in part to his track background. In high school in South Jersey, he ran the 8th fastest 60-meter time. It was only 7.03 seconds, so man, can he put on the Jets.
Well, he's got 70 on the day. Virginia Tech has 165 on the ground. And Virginia's just got to mount something here on this drive. That's a good start. And a flag late. J.R. Wilson on the receiving end. Let's check the marker.
Virginia Tech already has 6 penalties for 69 yards.
Personal foul, legal blindside block. Number 85, offense, 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That comes from the senior, Grant Mish.
And that's Virginia's 2nd penalty of the day.
See if we can see it here. Look for 85 in blue.
There he is. Ooh.
Streaking through there.
What was that call?
The illegal blindside.
That's a terrible call. He hit him right in the chest.
So it moves Virginia back after an 8-yard pickup. It would have been on first down. Washington trying to find some kind of room to lean on the tackle. They haven't been able to get 4 loose in blue today.
No, they really haven't. And they've been a good job of mixing up the coverages, but there have also been some missed throws from Calandria. They had their shots at times in this game.
That one deflected at the line of scrimmage. That may have been Phildarius Payne. 0 and white. Transfer from Nebraska. Got his big paw up there to knock it down.
And if he didn't, he was the most demonstrative in the celebration, so we're crediting him with it. Let's see, number 0.
He was happy for his teammate.
There
it was him,
well,
yeah.
that's why. It was him. It was him who did it.
3rd and 12.
Gotten pressure. See Pal Ryland moving around. There he is.
They only bring 3. Fields downfield, defended absolutely beautifully on the play by Dorian Strong.
Yeah, Dorian Strong, he is a leader in this secondary. He's only a redshirt junior out of Maryland. But watch him on the bottom of the screen. He's physical right off the bat. He gets hands on the receiver and does a great job of turning his head back to the football. And I mean, there's no better way of playing coverage. And you see the big shot towards the end of that play by Jordan McDonald. And, you know, it's interesting. We've called a bunch of these Virginia Tech games, and Jordan McDonald and his brother, Jaden McDonald, they always make big plays.
Holloway's going to let this one bounce. Down inside the 20. Hokies have come to play this afternoon in Charlottesville. They lead 24-0. And what does Florida State have to do? They've got Florida. They've got Louisville in the ACC championship game. Got to win both those games without Jordan Travis at the quarterback spot. That's coming up at the half.
Yeah, and then if they do win those 2 games without Jordan Travis, they're going to be in the playoffs. You got 2 more, right? So, you know, it's more than just, hey, we need to do a good job at the end of the season for Tate Rodemaker. It's like, hey, this is your team now. And they have a strong roster. And if Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman and Trey Benson can all do their thing, it's still going to be a formidable team to deal with.
Lane trying to pick his way for a couple of yards. Playoff rankings from this past week. Georgia and Georgia Tech on ABC tonight. Ohio State lost to Michigan.
Yeah, that was, man, what a game that was.
Had Oregon and Texas blowing out their opponents last night. Alabama, the Iron Bowl, they're in a good one right now.
Louisville took the L to Kentucky again.
And the Apple Cup, right now it's Washington and Washington State, all even at 7. 3rd and 4. Empty backfield for Drones. He's looking to throw all the way. Nobody open. Now he tries underneath and broken up. Trying to get it to Lane.
Yeah, this dude, Jonas Sanker,
all over the field.
I mean, he is good. He's got 6 tackles already in this game. He's got a couple PBUs, a fumble recovery. And, you know, you're going against one of the speediest receivers, and you just take a perfect angle. Driving on the football, that left arm perfectly placed out there. I mean, he is just, he's been phenomenal for UVA, and it's been great to watch him up close and personal today.
Huge stop on 3rd down, 2 clock stops with over 3 minutes left to go. You're going to get the ball back in pretty good field position here at the 37-yard line. This is a big opportunity for Anthony Colandrea to put some points on the board, get a little momentum going into the half, give yourself at least a chance in the second half.
Yeah, and, you know, you see Des Kitchens, the offensive coordinator, right there. And, you know, I think part of what happens right now, right, you want to go down, you want to score. You got to get points, right? But you start telling Anthony Colandrea, look, let's just forget about this rivalry game. Forget about all the fans in the stadium. Just go and have fun and start playing football. Wouldn't be surprised if they utilize his running ability on this drive as well.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Fields. That's a good strike on 1st down. Gives him about 7. Delane and McDonald on the coverage.
And sometimes for young quarterbacks, you get simpler play calls. You know, this right here is set up for a QB draw, but you get simpler play calls in this 2-minute.
Instead, it's Pace. Runs right up into the teeth of that Virginia Tech defense. Only got a yard. It's 3rd and 2. Fuga and Tisdale combining on the tackle. Virginia's got all 3 timeouts on the board if they can pick up this 1st down and keep this drive going.
Yeah, and, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the way the score is right now, this is, you know, they got two shots at getting this 1st down. You're down 24 points. You're going to need a lot of scores, and this could be, I mean, you got to go for it on 4th and 1 if you do not get this on 3rd down.
And now we got a timeout on the field, and Brent Pry is going to call
Virginia
it.
Tech, that's their 2nd charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Next week's ACC-SEC Men and Women's Basketball Challenge on the ACC Network continues on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern. 25th-ranked Mississippi State travels to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech. Then Georgia and Florida State at 9:15 on Wednesday. For the women, we got Florida and Georgia Tech at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. And then Vandy at NC State wrapping things up at 7:15. So some great midweek college basketball. The ACC-SEC Challenge for both the men and women. Third and 2. Pace in the backfield with Colandrea. That's Washington in motion. Colandrea's looking his way, and he goes to him, makes the catch, and he's right at the marker. I think he's going to get the 1st down. Dorian Strong did a nice job coming back in coverage to limit Washington's yards after the catch, which he's always so dangerous at. 1st down. Colandrea, pressure on the edge, goes down, but was able to pick up about a yard, but it's not what he wants right now with the clock winding down, and Virginia's going to use one of those 3 timeouts.
Timeout, Virginia. That's their 1st charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's a pretty mature play by Colandrea. He doesn't have anyone open downfield, so what do you do when you get to the top of your drop? Okay, no one's there. Let me work up into the pocket, so if I do get tackled, it's for a short gain rather than a 3-yard loss. And, you know, it takes some quarterbacks, you know, time to have that sense of awareness, and there's really no one open downfield. Really good job in coverage by Virginia Tech. A smart play by Calandria to work up in the pocket. And you saw 2 plays before that when they got the first down. They moved Malik Washington around to send him in motion to try to get him in off coverage. Here he is at the bottom of your screen. Let's see if they bring him in motion again.
Got him. First down at the 40, inside the 40. First time in Virginia Tech territory all game long for the Wahoos.
Yeah, and that's how you do it, right? You take the guy who you want to get the ball to and create the matchup you want. They got him on a linebacker, got the first down.
Calandria looking to move quickly. Steps up, tries to shovel it to Pace, and he couldn't handle it.
That's one of those plays you hold your breath on, but Calandria, again, he feels the pressure on the outside, steps up in the pocket, and that right there, it looks like he's trying to do something, but that's a safe play. It's a safe incompletion if you don't get it.
Could have been a big play, I think, if Pace catches it.
Yeah, agreed.
It's Academic, second down and 10. Clock stops at 1:19. Calandria looking to throw. Has a receiver. J.R. Wilson makes the catch. Short gain, about 5 yards.
Dorian Strong, he tried to rip it away.
Virginia, that's their second charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
Good job by the 6'4" sophomore from Brooklyn, J.R. Wilson, holding onto that football. That's the way that Virginia Tech notoriously plays, like all the time, right? Let's get turnovers, let's get the ball back, and Dorian Strong was trying to steal one there. Look at all those white jerseys around the football. They know that their team and their tradition are built on defense. And they take that personally.
Virginia Tech defense has really bothered Calandria on the day. This is the first time he's really gotten into any kind of a rhythm.
Yeah, anything. Only 59 yards passing. Most of them, honestly, coming on this drive.
There you see it right there.
There's Washington. Where's Waldo? He's working on Nasir Peoples, the safety.
Virginia Tech brings 4. They get pressure, but he finds a receiver inside the 20. It'll be another first down.
Man, standing in the pocket and just delivered it on a great strike to the dig route.
Fields made the catch in the red zone for the first time today. Calandria can run. Instead, he gets tackled for a loss. Cole Nelson brings him down.
He got hit.
There's a little hesitation there.
That's their third and final charge timeout of the half.
Thought he might take off here, Mark.
Yeah, just pressure off the edge, and again, working up in the pocket, and then gets taken down.
I thought he had a lane to get out of bounds too, and maybe inside the 15 and pick up a little more yardage.
Yeah, he did. That's what you thought for sure.
Third and final timeout called by Virginia.
Yep, and this was earlier and kind of set up where they are now.
Second down and 12. You can see no timeouts remaining for the Wahoos. Still 48 seconds, so time to operate. Let's not forget Virginia gets the ball to start the second half, so they can continue with this momentum into half. Then on the other side, pressure. Calandria forced out of the pocket. He's going to be dropped. Big loss on the play. Nelson got there. Loss of 18, and the clock is running.
Yeah, and Antoine Powell-Ryland just does an awesome spin move on the left side against Mikhail Boley. He just left Mikhail Boley in the dust, and Boley had only given up 1 sack so far on the year.
Calandria's got to go downfield. And he won't do it. Nelson once again. I don't think he needs the compression. He's been getting it done on the field, and especially on these last 2 plays.
Injured Virginia Tech player.
With the injury,
qualifies for a 10-second runoff.
The injury to Nelson. On this play, the clock is going to temporarily stop.
And you game plan Virginia Tech, and this is what you're afraid of. You get afraid of their pass rush because they can get so much pressure when just rushing
Virginia
forward.
the option for a 10-second runoff. Therefore, the clock will start on the snap in 9 seconds.
And you see him get up all right, and really Cole Nelson and Antoine Powell-Ryland were in the backfield the whole time, and I wonder if they're going to just take a shot towards the end zone here on 4th down. You might as well.
Calandria has now been sacked on 2 consecutive plays, 4 sacks for the Virginia Tech defense in the first half.
This is Malachi Fields, 6'4", 220-pound receiver.
Calandria flushed, just lets it fly, and this one is going to land harmlessly out of bounds.
Clock operator was a little bit generous.
The half is not over. Please reset the game clock for 3 seconds.
And the official says no. 3 seconds left.
I was about
Too
to say,
generous.
It was like, see that clock still ticking as the ball is like in with the cheerleaders on the sideline. Got to imagine Virginia Tech's just going to take a knee anyways.
Which would culminate a heck of a half on the road and a 24-point advantage against their biggest rivals.
Yeah, huge. And they started off early in the first quarter and scored points where they just, when they have started slow, they have never got going. But games that they do start fast, they blow out the other team. And that's what we're seeing so far.
Much to the chagrin, who's deep receiving this kick, more involved. It's Malik Washington. I mean, he's a Biletnikoff semifinalist. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 9 100-yard receiving games this year, including 6 in a row. Comes into the game with 9 receiving touchdowns. Just hasn't gotten the touches as he lets this one bounce into the end zone for a touchback. Sherry Burris on the field. What do you got for us, Sherry?
Chris, Coach Pry running over to me for our halftime interview, pumping his fists in the air. I asked him, why are you so excited? He said we did so many good things in the first half, one of them being that defensive stop at the end of the half. He said in games past, his defense might not have made that stop. He knows how resilient this UVA team is, so they need to keep that stand as UVA is back out on offense. Also staying aggressive on offense, get ready to feed Baishal Tootin more here in the second half.
I imagine we will see that up 24. There's Washington Mark. He's got it to start the second half.
And they're going to keep putting him in this number 3 wide receiver position, right? They're going to figure out ways to get him matched up on linebackers. He's so quick. He's so good after the catch. They just want to, as you mentioned, continue to feed number 4 the football. And, that's how you have to do it. I mean, that's the only way they're going to get back in this game is if Malik Washington touches the ball.
And as Tony Elliott told us this week, he runs after the catch like a running back. So just put it in 4's hands and let him do his thing. This time Calandria finds Ethan Davies. That's going to be just shy of the 35-yard line, so it'll bring up 3rd down and about half a yard.
And, I wouldn't be surprised if Virginia doesn't take a shot here. They have a lot of confidence in picking up a 4th and 1. Des Kitchen said that this is the time where they might take one deep. Now they're lining up in this unbalanced formation up to the left.
Washington in motion. Instead, they'll give it to Pace. And he'll pick up a couple and move the chains.
And see, on that play, I would have loved to see them try to just take one deep, right? You line up in this unbalanced formation, everybody's thinking run, and then you get a play action shot deep. Then on 4th and 1, 4th and inches, you pick up the 1st down, but you got to start taking some risks, even this early in the second half, being down this many points.
Keep an eye on the field for first down tackles.
Calandria to throw pressure up the middle. Try to get it to Davies, incomplete. APR and Nelson again. These two defensive ends are living in the Virginia backfield.
Yeah, and really got pressure up the middle from Norrell Pollard, number 3, and when you get the big guys on the front, getting pressure up the middle. I mean, that's when you see the big sack by Cole Nelson, the big hits coming from APR. Just not able to stay on your spot.
Second down and 10. Calandria looking for Washington, gets it into his hands. Can't get out of the grasp of Jalen Stroman. Does a nice job to limit it to a 4-yard gain.
That's the game plan. Get him in motion. You see the pressure coming. Just another play designed to get him the football.
Resetting the play, Calandria on third down. Pressure coming up the middle. Tries to get it to Pace. Makes the catch, but only a gain of about a yard as Alan Tisdale did a nice job from his middle linebacker spot to bring down Pace. And at 4th and 5, Virginia's going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, and just a good job by Virginia Tech's defense, being physical on the routes, and no options down the field for Calandria. Great job by Virginia Tech's defense again.
Sparks will once again punt it away, end over end. Good kick though. Holloway's going to let it bounce, and it takes a Virginia bounce. Holloway falls on it at the 16-yard line. Prevents any further damage. That's where Virginia Tech will take over. They did in every sport in the Commonwealth Clash other than this afternoon. Virginia Tech has dominated in this game.
That is correct.
And they continue to do so here. Felton. He's their big play threat in the passing game. And he's going to convert a big play here. 84 yards. The Hokies continue to pour it on here in Charlottesville.
I mean, when things are going your way, they're going your way. And this was way too easy for Virginia Tech. And you see Jonas Sanker made a last-ditch effort at swiping at the feet, but wasn't really the deep ball, but big play to Daquan Felton on the bootleg.
Virginia player injured on the play. And as the Wahoo staff takes a look at the player, we'll take a quick break. Cornerback Malcolm Green was the injured Cavalier on the play. He was able to walk off under his own power, so that was good news. Mark, let's take another look at that touchdown.
Yeah, it's just, poor eyes. This safety right here, he's got to look across the ball and see this motion. As this motion goes, now this deep over route, this would signal him to take that, right? As this play runs, and we freeze it right here, watch the eyes, right? He still thinks it's a 2-by-2, and there's a possibility of a guy on the over route. He loses his man, and it's a great delivery by Kyron Drones, taking advantage of the poor eyes by Caleb Hardy.
Longest pitch and catch of the year for Virginia Tech, 84 yards, and Love is on to make it 31 to Love. Hokies. And he does just that. Sherry, what's going on down in the field?
This week, guys, Kyron Drones said he had unwavering faith in his wide receiver, Felton. He said he always trusts him to get open on those deep balls. He's matured working on his craft after practice. They're throwing, they're working on different reads. He takes what the defense gives him, and he's never really too greedy. He said, I trust him to get open on that deep ball. And as we saw on that play, he said, you can't really run with him. If he gets open, he is gone.
Yeah, he's a tall guy. He's a long strider, right? 6'5", got those long strides, and sometimes for those big guys, it's tough for them to break out, right? But once they do get running, they got that speed. He hit that sixth gear on that one.
4 different receivers, Mark, on the day for Virginia Tech with 8 catches, averaging 26 yards per reception.
That's wild, right? And it just goes to show, right? These guys are stepping up, and it's not the normal characters, right? Jalen Lane does not have a catch, and there was a time this season where Jalen Lane was the only wide receiver to make catches in games, right? And so these other guys, Daquan Wright, DeQuan Felton, Stephen Gosnell is a guy who's really stepped up as this year has progressed to be threats in the wide receiver room.
I want to see who steps up for NC State tonight, because it's been KC Concepcion, and I think Brennan Armstrong is going to need some others to step up tonight to keep up with Carolina scoring. This is going to be an interesting game tonight in Raleigh, 8 o'clock right here on the ACC Network.
Yeah, Keon Lassane's a guy who, he started off this year pretty well, had a little dip. He's made his way back into kind of the rotation to receive the football. And the other thing will be interesting, how much scoring there is will probably dictate how much Brennan Armstrong throws the ball, as he does like to run it and lower that big shoulder.
Can Virginia get anything going offensively? Pace on the carry. It's about 3 on first down, and he comes up injured. Doesn't come up at all, stays on the turf, and the Virginia staff quickly out to check on him. They're already without Paris Jones, lost for the year a couple of games ago. So we'll check on Pace when we come back. 31-0, Virginia Tech on top. For his own power, the senior from Cedartown, Georgia. So that was good to see. Take a look at the injury here. It's hard to see where he sustained it.
It's that left knee.
Landed on that left leg. Got twisted underneath a little bit.
He did walk off gingerly, but that's a great sign.
Which means Jack Greasy, 34 in the game. And he'll get the pitch here. Has blocking on the outside. Close to a first down. Just about a yard shy. If that name sounds familiar, that's because it should. Bob's grandson. Brian's nephew. His dad played here years ago. He's going to pick up a first down here. Cole Nelson drives him back, but not before he got to the 35. Looks like Greasy.
Yeah, looking like a Greasy and looking greasy are 2 different things.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good distinction.
Make sure we're aware of that. Well, to get through that Virginia Tech defensive front, being greasy might help. Calandria has time, steps up, has a man wide open. Washington inside the 35 for the first time today. He's able to run after the catch and make a big play, 33 yards.
Yeah, and they set him in motion again, okay? Now you can't press him. You can't be full-on man-to-man against him. And just a really good hesitation route. He has a little flat route that he turns upfield.
Now Calandria goes to the bigger back. Malachi Fields on the catch. Let's check the marker.
Personal foul, face mask, number 4, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
We'll add 10 or 11 yards onto the end of it.
And you talk about just, how much of this offense this year has gone through Malik Washington and Malachi Fields. And Malik Washington leads the ACC and the FBS in receiving yards per game with 96 receptions. And Malachi Fields is fourth in the ACC with 52 receptions. I mean, those guys have had the bulk of the production on offense. Good to see them get going back-to-back.
Washington in motion at the bottom of your screen. Calandria rolling the pocket. Going to the end zone for Fields. Calandria knew he just missed him, just a little bit too high.
Yeah, and Fields got tripped up in the end zone, lost his footing as he was running that corner route. And Calandria, I think, saw him lose his footing. Watch him on the bottom of the screen. He's kind of going the inside sail route, and right there gets tripped up. And Calandria just tries to put a little bit more air underneath it to give him a chance.
Looked like he would have been wide open in that corner if he doesn't get tripped up. There's one other thing not going Virginia's way. Second down and 10. Play clock winding down. They don't get it off. They call it a timeout, though.
Timeout, Virginia. That's the first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Elliott was able to get the timeout, save the 5 yards. It's been a tough night for Anthony Calandria trying to put in the end zone for the first time. Coming up next, ACC Huddle Crew. They're in Raleigh, North Carolina, getting you set for North Carolina and NC State at 8 o'clock Eastern. They've got highlights and analysis of all the early games, plus thoughts on Florida and Florida State as well. It's all coming up after our game. And then don't forget, after that UNC-NC State game, a full recap of the entire day in the ACC. Jack Greasy continues to get run in the backfield for Virginia.
There's Fields, red zone threat. He's gonna have a one-on-one.
Instead, out to Greasy. He's got blockers. Tackled inside the 10. Virginia can get a first down at about the 2. So it'll be third down, call it about 5. There you can see the marker on the far side, inside the 2-yard line.
They have yet to do a design quarterback run, and I'm not calling for it here, but I wouldn't mind seeing Calandria move outside the pocket, right? Get away from that statue point 7 yards deep where Virginia Tech has been able to get to him.
Washington at the bottom of your screen. Calandria now checks back to him. He's covered and tackled wonderfully, though, right at the line of scrimmage. Alan Tisdale was Johnny on the spot. Might have picked up a yard at best.
Yeah, Feldarius Payne gets another big shot, right? And this is what happens when you just drop back right to the center of the formation. You just take a lot of hits, and Calandria's a tough guy. You can take him, but 180 pounds, 18 years old. That it hurts when you get landed on by a 300-pounder.
Will Bettridge is out to attempt a field goal here.
The previous play is under further review for potential targeting.
So they're going to review the last play for targeting, and I'm guessing this is going to be on Feldarius Payne.
Yeah, they're going to see it, and let's take another look at it. But you see Feldarius Payne, number 0. So the crown of the helmet is not the face mask. You see the face mask hits the shoulder pad, and to me, that's not targeting.
What about the launch?
He launches and lowers his head, but he doesn't strike with the crown of his helmet. So I think because it hits because he doesn't hit the quarterback in the head. To me, that I wouldn't call this a targeting, because it does hit with that face mask.
It is the shoulder as well, to your point. Our replay official, Bob Welch, taking a look at the targeting rule as it is written. Like that first bullet point there, it's just that's a lot of gray area there.
Yeah, there's a lot of gray area, but the key with that one, it has to be with the crown of the helmet. So it's going to be a determination of whether they feel like this was to me, it was like he hit with this part of his helmet, right? Like, not this part of his helmet. But, this is one of those ones where I think I'm just trying to hope that a kid doesn't get kicked out of the game.
And the first half of the next game, which would be a bowl game if they're able to hang on and win today, presumably they become bowl eligible.
Honestly, if Calandria's shoulder pad doesn't get in the way, then that strike ends up in the head and with the crown of the helmet.
After further review, there is no targeting on the previous play. 4th down.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
4th down, and Virginia now is going to set up for a field goal here. Down 31 points midway through the 3rd quarter. Bettridge has been outstanding. 17 of 20 on the year. He's going to try it from 25 yards. Good snap, good hold. Bettridge is true. So Virginia gets on the board with a 25-yard field goal from Will Bettridge. Still trailing by 4 touchdowns to the Hokies. Time for Herzog's Heroes. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, we love to honor people doing big things off the visits with them and seeing what they've done for this community.
Number 92 for Virginia Tech.
Want to make sure I shout out their work they've done around this Christmas and holiday time.
Yeah, great stuff. Appreciate you doing that for us, Mark, with Herzog's Heroes. This week and all year long here on the ACC Network. Little something for Virginia to cheer about on that drive. Heading in 3 points. The shutout has gone by the wayside. Let's see what Virginia's defense can do. They've been unable to prevent the big play all game long for Virginia Tech, preventing them from getting off the field. Tube's going to be able to return this Ganyard kick. Got a blocker in front of him. Gets the corner, and he's gone. Bashal Tutin starts celebrating at the 30-yard line. 94 yards. What a day for Bashal Tutin. Flags fly all over the place as he found a gaggle of Hokie fans in the end zone, and they celebrate together.
How about that? He did it against Florida State. Did it again today.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 33, return team. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The touchdown stands. That is number 33's first unsportsmanlike.
Well, here he is. Watch this block by 24, Malachi Thomas. Right there. Creates that little separation and then put the speed to work, young man. He gets out and cruises into the end zone, all the way through the end zone. This is what he gets called for right here. Our camera guys dropped it. But he did basically the Lambeau leap on the hill into the Virginia Tech Hokie fans.
You called it right, Mark. I love the speed because it looked like Virginia had a couple of tacklers that had the angle on him, and he got to the corner in a hurry. Virginia Tech has run one offensive play in the 3rd quarter, and they've put 14 on the board.
It's not funny, but it's impressive. And right here, look, like that's someone who's ran track. I mean, he just pulled away from everybody on that cover team.
This right here, when he gets it outside, he just runs away from 5, 6, 7 Wahoos.
Yep, he just goes. He's 4th in the ACC in all-purpose yards, averaging 111 yards per game. He is going to double that at least. There we go.
Cold beverage on a cold night.
Man. Got 74 yards on the ground and a touchdown, and then that kick return for another touchdown. It's had a big game.
So Hokie kicker Kyle Lowe is going to kick it off from his own 20 after the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is marched off. A good opportunity here for Malik Washington to show what he can do on a kickoff return himself.
And you know he's telling himself right now, all right, I can do that too. Just give me a chance.
Just kick away from him.
And they don't.
Ethan Davies from his 21. Davies with a good return. Gets hit at midfield, brought down. Virginia Tech sideline excited about that hit, but Virginia will have the ball in Hokie territory to start this drive.
Yep, good return. Good hit. But man, like, you feel Tony Elliott is so excited for this game. Des Kitchens and his offense are kind of excited about what they did versus Duke last week. And just, it's been nothing but disappointment today.
Calandria to throw. Washington makes a move on a defender. Deontay Jenkins got just enough to bring him down. Good gain on first down, though.
Yeah, not easy to tackle Malik Washington in open space. Good job by Deontay Jenkins.
Good to see Kobe Pace back in the game. Number 5 and tailback was shaken up on the last series for Virginia. He'll get the carry here. Muscles his way close to the first down marker. Kelly Lawson on the tackle. I think he's going to be just a little shy. Four down territory here, Mark. You said it before. Maybe a shot?
Yeah, I would love to see it. You know, you see where you can find man-to-man coverage, right? This is the deep safety. He's cheating down in the box.
Play fake. Calandria going for Fields. He's got him. Touchdown, Wahoos.
All right, Chris. There you go, Mr. Prediction. And that's it, right? You know you're going to pick up a 1 yard on fourth down. Might as well try the shot on third down and 1.
And he took a shot, too, when he threw that ball.
He sure did. And no one is questioning Anthony Calandria's toughness after this game. Bam! He gets banged and really throws a nice ball, right? Because there is the corner from the other side, Dorian Strong, that if he puts it too far out in front of Malachi Fields, that has a chance of getting intercepted. That was just a nice play call by Des Kitchens, a good execution by his quarterback.
Betrajon for the PAT. It is good. Also knowing you got a guy who's 6'4", 220 pounds out there against a much smaller cornerback. Give him a chance 50-50, right?
Yeah, well, that definitely helps. And when you're down by this much too, you're down 35 points, you take that shot and woo.
He knows when the lights start flickering, something good happened on the other end of that one.
Yeah, that's just getting hit with all the body weight. And that's how you're supposed to hit a quarterback. Can't do that very much anymore, landing on guys. But then when I was playing, you wanted to land on a quarterback.
Nowadays, sometimes you feel like you have to levitate.
Yes.
As to not land
That's
on a
good word
quarterback.
for it. The impossible. That's what it is. It's the impossible. You have to do that. Well, there's some life.
And it seemed like just a moment ago, Tootin was returning a kick for a touchdown. He's back out there. And he'll let this Ganyard offering bounce into the back of the end zone for a touchback.
I feel like if I just ran one back, I would have totally caught that and gone.
Just you're hot.
Just
It's like, I'm hot right now, man. I'm feeling it.
You know, the kickoff teams feeling like, oh, we got to press a little bit. We got to make extra play. I don't know. Maybe I'm greedy with it.
Just don't see it nearly as often as you never saw it a lot.
No.
But you saw it a lot more than you see it now with the touchback rules.
Yep.
So many of these kicks sailing out of the back of the end zone. You just don't see as many returns. Give to Tootin.
Oh, bye-bye.
He's got one man to beat. Does it on the inside. Can he get a block? He gets caught from behind. Jonas Sanker caught him as he had to make a move or two to avoid a defender, but another big play to add 46 yards rushing to Tootin's day.
That is a vicious stiff arm. Hits him with the vicious stiff arm, then the vicious juke move, and Bashal Tootin is feeling it right now.
Gets a little bit of a rest. Drones has to avoid the tackler. Did a nice job to get it out in the flat. Unfortunately, it was dropped by his tight end, Daquan Wright. The big first half. Haven't heard much from Wright in the second. James Jackson applied the pressure.
Yeah, and they had it. Virginia did. Coming off the edge, James Jackson, that's missing a layup. That's the equivalent of missing a layup on defense.
Thomas, nowhere to go. Sanker, joined by Jackson.
Another play, Jonas Sanker coming down to the box, being the 7th run defender, and just does a good job of triggering. Didn't miss that layup.
Check that. That was Paul Akiri. Joining him on the tackle. 3rd down and 10. Drones will throw. Too high for Wright. Adam just misfired. Wright would have been short of the 1st down anyway. But it brings up 4th down. John Love will come in to attempt a long field goal. About 46 yards. That would tie his season high. Career high is 47.
That 46-yarder at BC earlier this year.
This one looks good, and it is.
That was money.
John Love adds 3 more to the Hokie tally, 41-10 at the 4:34 mark of this 3rd quarter. You saw how happy Coach Pry was coming out to congratulate Love. This guy has been incredible when you think about his accuracy. Now 20 of 22 on the season.
It's pretty good. I mean, he can be that accurate from that range.
Enough that his head coach now refers to him as Dr. Love.
Dr. Love. Or the Love Doctor.
Anything he wants if he keeps hitting field goals like that.
Well, 41-10, Chris.
We mentioned that the ACC could have as many as 11 bowl-eligible teams by the end of the day. There are 10. Syracuse beat Wake Forest earlier this afternoon up in Syracuse, so the Orange make the 10th team, and Virginia Tech well on their way to making it 11 by the end of this night. As we take a look at those bowl-eligible teams.
Do you know how many bowl games there are?
30, well, they change every year, about 32 maybe.
32? Yeah, I mean,
somewhere in that range.
You'll get ACC representation in
a lot of them,
a
yeah.
third of them. You're because it's rare when, you know, two teams from the same conference play each other in a bowl game, but it does happen.
Well, you'll get Florida State could be in the playoff, which would mean that the highest ranked team would go to a New Year's Six bowl, which would presumably be Louisville. Then you got Duke's Mayo, you got the Pinstripe Bowl, you got the Fenway Bowl. You and I called that game last year in Boston. Fenway, that's a pretty cool bowl. Birmingham Bowl, Gasparilla Bowl down in Tampa.
Boise, Idaho Potato Bowl.
We will be in Boise.
We will be at the blue fields and the parkas.
So a lot of bowl tie-ins for the ACC, and they're going to fill, it looks like, all of those bowl slots. Calandria. He has been under duress all night long, just trying to get what he can. Comes up hobbling a bit.
I mean, he's taking some hits, too. Like, you know, in that play, right? You know, at a certain point, you start to be like, all right, you know, let's not get me hit again, please, because Phildarius Payne is bringing the pain, and Cole Nelson and Antoine Powell-Ryland and Siege Man, all these guys have got their hits on me. They're coming.
Pitch to pace, he's got nowhere to go. Payne, APR in the backfield once again.
I mean, this play by Phildarius Payne, he's got the long hair right there, but he just, I mean, he just runs right to the ball. You know, gets such a good get off. He gets on the shoulder of the blocker that, you know, no one's able to tackle, no one's able to stop him. There's Payne's having a good day. 1.5 TFLs, a QB hit, and a PBU.
Good job by Sanker in punt coverage, dropping Holloway in his tracks. North Carolina, NC State tonight at 8 o'clock, right here on the ACC Network. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app. Like Virginia Tech, NC State trending in the right direction at the latter part of the year. Now ranked 22nd in the country, going to beat their rivals just down the road. Tonight at 8 o'clock. Take a look at the ACC scoreboard. Duke getting back in the win column. The win over Pitt. Disappointing loss for Louisville. Once again, Kentucky just has their number in recent years, and you saw the Syracuse win. Orange now bowl eligible. Cam Robinson on the tackle, a Bashal Tootin. Virginia Tech heading in the right direction. Even though they lost last week to NC State, a team on the rise, they were on the verge of getting blown out in that game at home, and they fought back to make it a game. They had an onside kick with less than 2 minutes left to go to potentially get a game-tying drive. And I think they carried that momentum into this week.
Yeah, you know, I think they did. And, you know, I think it means something to them. It's a rivalry game. They felt like they were playing well. And you know, it's like 2 weeks ago at Boston College, they absolutely dominated the game and, you know, scored the most points that they had all year offensively. And they put a bunch of, you know, things together, recovered a surprise onside kick, right? They just felt like momentum was on their side. And, you know, the first half of last week was a dip, but then they got back in the second half. And, I really think they came out today and just said, look, we're going to do what we do best. We're going to take our shots. And they've been successful at that.
Very balanced attack, 208 through the air, 215 on the ground. That time Drones may have gotten a little too greedy trying to find Jalen Lane into double coverage. So the Virginia defense forces a 3 and out. And we'll see Peter Moore once again. Darian Harrison, true freshman, will return this punt. Standing at his own 25. End over end kick. Harrison's going to have to call a fair catch. He can't make it. And it looks like the Hokies have fallen on it. They have. Mistake by the freshman with the muff.
Kick by the receiving team, recovered by Virginia Tech.
And Virginia Tech recovers it.
Nope. Part of me wants to make a giving out presents comparison here, but I'm going to stay away from that because that's all the good work they were doing during this week. But hey, you got to catch these balls. You can't give turnovers. You can't give kickoff returns for touchdowns. A fortunate bounce for Virginia Tech and a little bit of lack of focus by Virginia.
Kyron Drones back on the field to run some clock. Or go to the end zone. Had lane open, just drove that football too far to the outside, out of bounds.
Speaking of holiday spirit, Chris, do you have a favorite Christmas movie? It's now after Thanksgiving, right? That time of year.
Easy. Die Hard.
I knew you were going to say Die Hard. Even before I asked the question, I said Chris is going to definitely say Die Hard.
Because I don't really have a favorite Christmas movie, so Die Hard by default. Right. I don't even love it. I just kind of like it. It has its moments. So I would prefer to watch that over any other Christmas movie.
Yes.
Although Love Actually is all right.
Love Actually is good. Mine's Home Alone. Thanks for asking the follow-up question.
I knew that was going to be your answer, and I can't stand that movie, so I didn't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you. I loathe that movie.
Man, when the spider gets on.
Nope, don't want any of it. Don't want any part of it. Sherry, what about you? What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, I don't know if this counts as Christmas because it's also Halloween, but I am a diehard Harry Potter fan. And just like the warm, cozy, magical vibes, I'm all for it.
That's stretching it even more than Die Hard.
That is such a stretch. There probably is a Christmas scene in one of the 8 movies.
Hokie score again. It's Daquan Felton adding to his big day.
Tell you what, this is a movie that Brent probably likes right here. He's watching.
Yeah, he wouldn't mind seeing the sequel to this movie in the bowl game.
That's for sure. And it's just really soft coverage. Really good run after catch all day by these Virginia Tech wide receivers. They're pointing at each other. It's the Spider-Mans.
You're having a great day. No, you're having a great day.
No, you are. Chris, you know that Spider-Man meme, right?
Of course.
Of course.
Well, Felton's day has been, he's one of the big play threats along with Jalen Lane on this offense. 3 catches, 133 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
What? He's averaging 44 yards a catch.
This one right here may have dropped his average.
Yeah, it's too short.
Good stiff arm, though, on Sanker.
Yeah, and you see, stiff arm says, and honestly, Sanker does a pretty good job of trying to stay with him, but you see the strength by Daquan Felton. And, he's a guy who transferred in from Norfolk State 2 years ago. And, he's been really towards the last half of the year has really done a good job of stepping up for them. Up 48 points, ties their season high, which they scored against Boston College 2 weeks ago.
And Calandria will go back to work. So this is a moment, Mark. 18 seconds left in the third quarter here. We've got a complete quarter left to play. You're down 38 points. You're not going to win today, but this is where you start. You don't have those 14 practices like we talk about for bowl season for Virginia. This is when you go to work on next year, isn't it, with Calandria, especially for guys like that?
Yes, kind of, but the way he's been getting hit,
you maybe say,
I kind of want to just max protect and run the football.
Gotcha.
The last thing you want is, well, that's a great play.
Oh, that was a beautiful pass. And Kobe Pace So Calandria can't believe it as Pace just dropped it. He put that one right in the bread basket.
Yeah, good pass. They got a matchup with your running back out there. Well, really, it's actually not a great matchup because your running back being covered by the best cornerback, but he gets open and really good deep ball. But again, right, as I'm saying, this is one you're not going to win this game. And what you don't want is to get your quarterback hurt. I mean, that would be the worst case scenario.
Washington got blocking in front of him. Spins for about 4. Deontay Jenkins on the tackle. It is one of the things they've done a nice job as we end up the third quarter here, containing Washington. He's making these catches near the line of scrimmage, and he's not getting much out of him after the catch. 48-10, all Hokies as we hit.
Taking a lot of hits, but he's standing in there, he's delivering the ball, and he continues to play hard.
We appreciate the time, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Coach Sherry. Third down, Calandria gets rid of it. Pace this time makes the catch, but he's tackled immediately. Mose Phillips. And Mark, we are positioned here in our booth right next to the Virginia Tech assistant coaches up here. And they let out a celebratory roar and ovation on this play.
Yeah, they did. And, just a really good tackle by a young player. Mose Phillips, a true freshman out of Nashville, Tennessee. And gets an opportunity to get in there. He's played a lot this year, backing up Nasir Peoples in that safety position, and makes a great tackle.
Holloway calls for the fair catch. He can't make it, but he does fall on it and pays the price. But at least he was able to keep possession for the Hokies at their own 29.
Well, you got to maintain focus, right? You're up 38 points. And there's a natural tendency as humans to relax a little bit when you're clearly in the victor's seat, but you got to rein it in, and Brent Pry's got to get his guys all focused up and make sure that's a isolated incident.
Drones to throw. Has Tootin in the flat. He's wrestled out of bounds. Dave Herrard on the tackle. But maybe 2 yards. Tootin is showing the full repertoire today.
Yeah.
Running the football, returning kicks, receiving the ball.
Yeah, and how about, the addition of Bashal Tootin to this Virginia Tech team this year, right? Transferred in from North Carolina A&T. And, we've seen games like from him that you're just, your jaw's on the floor because he's done some, amazing things getting around guys, breaking tackles. He had that 99-yard kickoff return against Florida State. And today, really just his impact on this game is, unquestionable and, might be his most complete game he's had this season.
Ended up losing a yard on that run. Third down and 9.
You talk about, stick-to-itiveness, right? Like you mentioned last week, he had 2 carries for -3 yards, right? When you're the top offensive weapons on your team, you can go one of 2 ways with that. You can let that knock you down, or you can say, all right, next game's my game, and he's obviously taken the latter.
Drones flag on the play. He's going to get a big gain out of this one. Runs into the defender, Sanker. Brings him down just shy of the first down marker. Let's check that laundry on the field.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down. Third down.
Third down now and 5 yards back. Hokies weren't quite set. Second man in motion needed to be set, wasn't. So it's third and about 14. Drones to throw. Tipped by James Jackson, so it's intended for Holloway, and he'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, it could have been a pick. James Jackson read that play pretty well and got two hands on this football. Should be an interception.
Moore with a good kick. Harrison all the way back to his 22. Makes the fair catch after a 54-yard punt from Moore. All Hokies Thanksgiving amongst themselves here in Charlottesville. And I'm sure they had a great time, but we certainly appreciate all the hard work you guys put in this week to making this game possible for us. For everybody watching at home, thank you.
Killer Hawaiian shirt in there, too.
No question. Rich, always dressed to the nines. Calandria. Greasy avoids one tackler, and a stiff arm there, stays on his feet, and picks up a first down.
There you go. Again, one thing that's happening too, you mentioned it, you're getting some play from some guys who haven't seen the field a lot. Jack Greasy, the sophomore out of Chantilly, Virginia.
That time misfiring, looking for Ethan Davies. Braylon Johnson, true freshman from Virginia Tech in coverage. Hokies also getting some young players playing time here in this rivalry. Landry's going to roll out right into the face of that pressure. Gets it to Greasy. Picks up good yardage.
Oh, Calandria just got smoked.
He just rolled right into the defensive
Personal
end,
foul.
crashing in.
Roughing the passer. Number 2, defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
See Sean Burgos. Watch Calandria goes right into. Oh, here he is. Ugh.
And that's just tough to call.
I don't know.
He didn't even land on him.
And stand by Beasting. You get 4 shots in the field.
Yeah, that's tough. Payne chasing Calandria now gets him from behind.
It's just, I mean, this is why it's like, gotta stop. I mean, just stop dropping back. I mean, you're getting this guy killed right now. And you want him to stay? It's like, you got a freshman that, we all know about the transfer portal and all that stuff. And, you got Tony Muskett who, came in as, transferred in and, he was going to be the guy beginning of this year. He gets hurt. We talked about all that stuff. But now you're going to the offseason with 2 quarterbacks who feel like they can play. You got to be nice to him. You can't let him get killed in the last game.
You know Calandria is a battler. He wants to stay in there to the very end. Get him back into the end zone. We'll have to convert a third down here, 3rd and 5 after hitting Malik Washington.
Yeah, but you like to stay out of the cold tub.
He's destined for the cold tub anyways. I don't think it really matters at this point.
I guess
He's
so.
taken so much abuse tonight. Empty backfield. There's Washington, first down. Good hit by Dante Lovett.
All that being said, right? Like, Calandria's making some throws. He's showing the toughness. There's a good shot at Tony Muskett. And he's got another year of eligibility next year, too. And, right, look at Calandria, right? I guess it's maybe me being 36 years old up here thinking about taking those hits. He's still a young guy. He's bouncing back, and he's delivering the football well.
Trying to find Fields again in double coverage. Lovett with a nice job staying with the big receiver from Virginia. He's a little slow to get up in the end zone. And the officials will call a timeout. That's Lovett trying to stretch out that back. We'll take a quick break. 10-11 left to go in this one. Virginia Tech up 38. Dante Lovett was able to run off under his own power. Greeted by his coach. We got to the sideline. Time now for our fueling performance presented by Gatorade. Fine, I'll do a lot count. You're darn tootin'. Initial toot, touchdown running, touchdown on a 94-yard kickoff return, well over 100 yards on the ground today.
Oh, yeah, 117 yards on the ground. Add that to the kickoff return yardage, over 200 all-purpose yards in the game. He's gotten in the end zone twice and averages 7.3 yards per carry. He has had a special day.
After the injury timeout, 2nd down and 10 for Calandria. Tried to force that one in there. Sack it would. Kelly Lawson was draped all over him.
Kelly Lawson, we haven't called his name that much today, but he is 6'4", 225-pound linebacker. He can run with tight ends and wide receivers. He's just another one of those guys, a redshirt sophomore, that's going to have a bright future at Virginia Tech. And this defense has really come on strong in the latter half of this year.
And Lawson, a former wide receiver, converted the linebacker. Calandria now, pressure on the edge. Gets it to Washington. Lowers his shoulder. Still on his feet inside the 5.
Wow! Malik Washington. Coach just said he runs like a running back. I mean, first of all, watch this, right? Watch his run after catch. He moves before his hands are on the football because his quarterback throws it away from the defender. That's great, right? But then he runs over a couple guys to get inside the 5-yard line. That's what makes him special.
An ACC single-season record for receptions, 100 right now, well over 100. Here he goes over the top. 110 receptions, single-season ACC record. He has 14 on the day.
That's crazy.
I had to do a double take on that. 14 today.
Yeah, and he's still averaging 8 yards per catch. You know, like, he is really good. And I think what makes him so special is his ability to run after the catch. Because they do everything with him, right? But what they don't do is have him do the jump balls on the sideline, right? That's what you use Fields for, number 8 at the top of your screen. But really everything else, number 4 can do.
Calandria is going to roll to Fields, who goes up and brings it down.
Yeah, that's what he does. They got a guy for that. So let's let that guy do that thing. There you go. And right, I kind of said, hey, let's keep the ball on the ground and protect their quarterback. But that last drive, and really this whole 4th quarter, they have kept the ball in Anthony Calandria's hands. They have not attempted one running play and just let him sling the ball all over the field. And that right there was one really impressive drive for Virginia.
Petrich finishes it off. 11 plays, 78 yards. Took almost 3.5 minutes off the clock, and Calandria, beaten up all day, finally finds his big receiver in the back of the end zone. Fields, more points on the board for the Waters. As you can see there, they've pretty much dominated from the start. Seeing some good things from Virginia, though, here in the second half, including that touchdown drive.
Number 24 is now number 92.
Still to come tonight on the ACC Network, North Carolina at NC State. Great work going here. We might hand it right off to those guys.
Nope.
They'll kick it at 8 o'clock. We might have an onside kick here. It looks like we will. Ganyard's going to see if he can get the hop. Takes a big hop, but goes right out of bounds. We do have several flags down.
Blocking a little too early.
One of those flags will be for kicking it out of bounds, as it was not touched before it went out of bounds. Let's check the other one.
Offside, kicking team. That penalty's declined. Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team, the 5-yard penalty will be enforced and the ball went out of bounds. First down.
Well,
Never practiced that enough, so might as well practice it in game time situation.
Yeah, well, it's hard enough to get an onside kick, and makes it really hard when you go offside and kick it out of bounds. But Grant Wells is in the game now at quarterback. He's seen some action throughout the year and come in and, ran the football at times for them. 15 rushes, kind of a short yardage runner for them.
Malachi Thomas on the carry. Still on his feet. Good run. Give him 11 yards. First down. Wells, of course, transferred in from Marshall for last year's starting quarterback at the beginning of this year. Got injured in the second game. Gave way to Kyron Drones. Drones just never looked back. But to Wells' credit, he's got that C on his jersey. He's a team captain. Ultimate team player. Drones has had quite the day. Also, 244 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, 50 yards rushing on the day. Pitch to Thomas. Virginia defense is ready for him. A lot of room to run, a lot of green grass there. And see, it's hard to bring him down. We talked about it at the moment there, Mark. Can't tackle this guy up high.
Nope, you can't tackle him up high. And then they used that run game effectively to set up the play-action pass downfield. And a lot of yards after the catch. And we already talked about Daquan Felton's day and how productive he has been. Bashal Tootin as well. It's just been a good old-fashioned whooping, honestly, by Virginia Tech.
Thomas running hard, picks up about 5. See Virginia Tech's overall record there, 5-6 coming in. A win today makes them bowl eligible. They'll be the 11th team in the ACC to become bowl eligible. Saw some prognosticators think that if they became bowl eligible today, they might get an invite to the Military Bowl, which seems to make sense at Annapolis. A good crowd of Hokies up there at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. Wells, there's a running ability. Picks up a first down. Smile from Drones. Now he's got the jacket on. Good day for Drones. Really impressive.
Tell you what, those jackets right there, they're like super extra large jackets. They fit over the shoulder pads. Remember when I was with the Giants and tried to bring one home with me one time? I was like, man, that'd be good to just have, right? Like just always have around. Didn't let me get it out of the locker room.
They didn't let you take it with them?
No, they're
protective.
They're the team ones.
You think you could wear that even without the shoulder pads?
Guess what? When something's too big, you can always wear it. Just too small, you can't fit it over.
That's true.
Yep. You might not with the biceps you got going on, right? But me...
How did that thing fit over the neck roll you were wearing?
That's a good question.
Right.
That's actually maybe why they didn't let me keep it, because they knew it wasn't going to be good.
Stretch it out of shape. Good drive here by Virginia Tech in the final moments of this game. All on the ground. Wells and Malachi Thomas, the lion's share of work.
The backup offensive line in the game right now. Bunch of reserve tight ends and receivers as well.
Wells is going to roll the pocket. As a receiver, Thomas out of bounds. After a pickup of about 4 yards, it'll bring up 3rd down and 2. Tavon Kyle on the tackle. That huddle crew is going to have a lot to talk about. Florida State, Florida. You got Louisville taking the L earlier in the day at home against Kentucky.
My kids, Boston, Jet, and Bishop, hanging in there without me. We've been on the road. I'm sure they're not even watching right now because they're putting the kids to bed, but I'm going to shout them out nonetheless.
Job well done. Thomas looking to sidestep his way into the end zone, and he does.
I don't know if you could hear the intense yeses and cheering, but that was Tyler Bowen, the offensive coordinator, who's directly next to us in the booth. And that's Malachi Thomas's second rushing touchdown on the season. And when you can get your backups in, right, and you can execute a drive like that,
right,
that's that's J.C. Price. These guys are loving what the Hokies are doing right now.
And my guess would be, as happy as they are for Malachi Thomas, they're even happier for guys like Johnny Garrett, Jack Hollifield, the backup offensive lineman, paving the way for their tailback to get into the end zone. It's more than 104 years, and look at the carnage there. The students that stuck around on the berm are almost entirely Virginia Tech students, and their night is just beginning.
Yeah, I wonder what's next for them, right? You know, you're a college student at a away place. It's got to be some fun to get into.
It's going to be a lot of fun. A bunch of lunatics. Sherry, what's going on?
Players, Virginia Tech fans, they get to kind of have a little bit of bragging right over their UVA friends and family, right? They have the bragging rights. The players get to say they own the state of Virginia in football, and they're playing for the Commonwealth Cup. I was told it was in the Virginia Tech locker room earlier today, and at their facility, they have it in a trophy case, their Hall of Fame case, and it is one of the most prominent trophies in that case. So you got to wonder, you know, how do you celebrate in the bus way back?
I can think of a way or two to celebrate, that's for sure, and it's going to be a heck of a ride back to Blacksburg for the Hokies as Ahmad Foston gets the carry here, and Jared Raymond in at quarterback. It's a good look at Raymond, the University of Virginia. Fifth-year player out of Atlanta, Georgia. Greasy late to get on the field for the Wahoos. He's ready to go. Raymond's going to keep it. First down. Out to the 44.
Yeah, Raymond was like, all right, I'm into your grade, but I got no running back. So good thing Greasy got himself on the field. And good run by Raymond. Pick up the first.
Fake to Greasy. Raymond's going to throw. No, he's going to pull it down. It's brought down at the line of scrimmage. Guess who? Darius Payne. The other backups getting some time. Ishmael Finlater. Canadian. This weather suits him just fine.
And yeah, this is, you know, this is the last game of the year for Virginia, and they're trying to get all the plays in they possibly can in this game, going with no huddle offense and trying to get some of these seniors some reps.
It's Dante Hawthorne getting some run too. 25 for Virginia. It's a big bat. Clock ticks under 2 minutes here. Hawthorne again on the pitch. Oh, his shoulder running hard to pick up that first down.
First down tag. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3.
For Darius Payne.
Right place, right time, and yet another tackle on Raymond.
Yeah, and Feldarius Payne is playing in there with a bunch of guys who are backups, but hey, he's a fifth-year senior from Virginia, right? And this is his last thing. He's not getting taken off the field. He's saying, hey, let me stay out here. Let me keep on playing. And he's been productive all game and really good for Virginia Tech Hokies defensive front.
Hawthorne running hard up the middle. Maybe their leading rusher on the day, by the way. Raymond to throw. Trying to get it to Sackett-Wood. Incomplete. Stops the clock with 27 seconds. Oh, Coach Pry getting the blue Raz Gatorade bath.
Man, oh gosh, that doesn't feel great.
I bet it feels great to him right now.
I mean, it does, but it's cold still.
Year 2 for Coach Pry, going to a bowl game. At the beginning of the year, it didn't look that way. They were 1-3. Losses to Purdue, at Marshall. That was really the low point for them. They went 1-3 after the Marshall loss, but they've come back. Played much better in the second half of the year as the clock ticks down. And Coach Pry, a little damp from that Gatorade bath, but happy nonetheless as he and Tony